Hey guys, so today I'll be talking about the LeetCode problem Pascal's triangle, which gives the number of rows as an argument and expects us to return the pattern of the Pascal triangle. So it's basically Pascal triangle is basically a 2D array and it will be generated based on the number of rows. So how is the Pascal's triangle formed? So if you just look into this example, let's say for number of rows 5. So for number of rows 5, the Pascal's triangle will be formed like the first row will contain 1, the second row will contain so each element is like the sum of the previous two elements. So in this case, the in the first row it will be 1, in the second row it will also be 1, the first element, because 1 and there is an imaginary 0, let's say here, so it will be 1. And in the next row what will happen is like, so the second element will be the sum of this one and this one, so this will be 2. Again, the next element will be 1. In the next row it will be 1 followed by the sum of this 2, which is 3, then this 2, which is also 3, and then 1. So in each row we can say, so if there are, this is the fourth row, it will contain 4 elements. If it is the third row, it will contain third elements. And similarly for the fifth row it will be 1, 3 plus 1, that is 4, 3 plus 3, that is 6, 3 plus 1, that is 4, and there is a 1. So this is like how the Pascal's triangle is formed. Like as you can see, the shape that it forms is that of a triangle, from where this name has been derived. So coming to the code, so first we'll need a resultant array. We'll send var result equal to an empty array. Next, what we need to do is we need to check whether the number of rows is 0 or not. If it is 0, we then just return this result. If it is not, then we have to, so basically we will just add the first row, so that will be result.push. The first row will be a singleton set, that is 1. Then from the second row we need to check, so that will be 1 I less than the number of rows 9 plus plus. Here what we need to do is first need a new local set, which is list, which will contain the list of elements in the current row. We need to add 1 to this, because this one, in every row there is a 1 that is added. And similarly we will also add the last one, which is like the last element in each row at the end. So this will be result.push list.push 1, and for each of this in between elements, so this green element that is coming, this green one, for that we need to do an iteration based on the previous row's length, starting from the second element. Why? Because if we come to this example, let's say to generate, after we place this one, in order to generate this rest of the elements we need to add. So what I will do is like, I will then rub this off in order to, okay, let's rub this off. So what I'm trying to explain here is like, let's say we have 1 here, we have 1, then at the beginning we are appending a 1 to each set. So list in every case will contain this row. List in this case will contain this row. So for this element, so what we need to do, we need to iterate every time from the second element, how many times we can add with the previous element. So in this case we need to add, we can add from like starting from the second element, how many times we can add with the previous element. In this case we can add once only because we have two elements, so that will be 2, and at the end we'll append a 1. Similarly for the next case, we need to start from 2, add it with this 3, then come here 1, add it with this 2, 3, and then append a 1 at the end. So that's the idea we are going over here. So for the previous row we are taking the length starting from the second element, and we are iterating that many times to include the elements that are in between these two ones, extreme ones. So that will be, we need to have a local sum which will take the previous row's 2 elements and we'll add this. Then we need to push this in the list. Next we need to append the final one, and then create a copy of this list and then insert it in the resultant array. So creating a copy, we have to the spread operation in JavaScript by which we can extract all the elements, like create a copy of these elements and out of that create an array and append it to the resultant array. Lastly we need to return this result. Okay, let's run the code. Okay, so we have an error here. Let's say what it's saying. So in line 13 of this, it's saying that it's facing an error. So let's see. Okay, so for let j equal to 1, j less than resultant I dot length. Okay, j plus plus, okay, this will be the previous row, right? Because we haven't accessed this row yet, because the current row is already blank, it only has one element, so it doesn't make sense. So let's run it now. Okay, it's accepted. Let's submit it. Okay, so that's it. I guess you enjoyed this video, and if you enjoyed this video, do give a like and don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Thank you.